Good morning, children. Today we will study about the properties which cannot be explained by the wave theory. And the first we will study the black body radiations. An ideal body which is a perfect absorber or perfect emitter of radiation is called black body. As black color can absorb all the radiation, that's why it looks like black. So it absorbs all the radiations. So the radiations, and when it will absorb, then after some time it will start to emit radiations. So the radiations emitted by such a body is called as black body radiations. Black body is a good perfect absorber of light and perfect emitter also, and that's why the radiations emitted by such a body is called as black body radiation. When such a body is heated, it becomes red hot. You have seen one iron rod when it is heated. Then first it is heated, then the color changes to red color. So when such body is heated, it becomes red. In other words, it emits red color light. As the temperature is further increased, the color of the radiations emitted changes from red to yellow to white and finally to a light blue color or the purple color as the temperature becomes very high. This implies that wavelength of radiation emitted by black body decreases with increase in temperature. In terms of frequency, it means that the frequency of the radiation emitted increases as the temperature increases because there is a change in the color of the radiation. The exact frequency distribution of the emitted radiations depend only on its temperature. At a particular temperature, intensity of radiation emitted increases with the increase in wavelength, reaches a maximum value and then starts decreasing with further decrease. So in this way, decrease of wavelength, these observations could not be explained by classical wave theory. According to this theory, wavelength of emitted radiation should have remained the same. However, intensity might have changed with the rise in temperature. So this is the distribution of the frequency or you can say the wavelength of the light that is given in the graph. One side we have taken the intensity versus wavelength graph. So the wavelength increases up to the maximum, the temperature initially T1, after that T2, and then slowly it decreases. The temperature T2 is greater than T1. So in this way we cannot explain this with the change in color or the change in the frequency or the wavelength. So these observations could not be explained by the classical wave theory that you have studied. And that's why we cannot apply that wave theory for it because there is a change in the wavelength of the light. Now we'll study the second property that is called as photoelectric effect. It is observed that electrons are ejected from the surface of certain metals when light falls on it. This is known as photoelectric effect. Thus, photoelectric effect may be defined as a phenomena of ejection of electron from the surface of the metal when the light of suitable frequency strikes it. The electrons thus ejected are called as photoelectrons. Now, when light falls on the surface of certain metal, which are having the low ionization energy, when electrons falls on the surface, then they are ejected and then they move on the surface of the metal, and that is the movement of electron is called as electricity, flow of electricity. And that's why we can say there is the flow of electricity. Now it must be noted here that the photoelectric effect is shown by any metal in a photoelectric cell only. In the photoelectric cell, there is the arrangement of the metal in which the light falls on the surface of the metal. The apparatus showing the photoelectric effect is shown in the figure. It comprises an evacuated tube with metal having low ionization enthalpy and constituting the negative electrode. Now, when light of sufficiently high energy strikes the metal, the electrons are knocked from its surface and move towards the positive electrode. These electrons constitute a current flowing through the circuit. That means when electrons are ejected, they move on the surface of the metal, and which is called as the flow of electricity. So the metals which have low ionization enthalpy, like the potassium or rubidium, these metals are having the low ionization energy. So when light falls on the surface of the metal, that you can see in the diagram, there is a metal surface, then light falls on the metal surface, then the electrons are ejected, and then these electrons will move towards the positive electrode because they are negatively charged. So detector can detect it, then you can see in the ammeter there is the flow of electricity. So I am repeating, the photoelectric effect is defined as when the light of certain frequency or having the high energy that is greater than its ionization energy, then the electrons are ejected and these electrons move on the surface, and then there is the flow of electricity. So you can see in the diagram also. Now these electrons which are ejected by the use of light, they are called as photoelectrons. So these photoelectrons move on the surface of the metal, which is called as photoelectric electron. So now this process or this phenomena is called as photoelectric effect. It is very important for the formation of photocells. Now only a few metals show this effect under the action of visible light, but many more can show it under the action of more energetic ultraviolet light. Ultraviolet light has higher frequency and it is having the higher energy also. That's why the other metal can show the photoelectric effect. Cesium with the lowest ionization enthalpy emits electrons very easily because cesium metal has very low ionization energy. So when light falls on it, then the electrons will be ejected. Some important observations about the photoelectric effect are: for a particular metal, there exists a threshold frequency such that at frequencies below the threshold, no electrons are ejected, no matter how large the intensity is or how long the radiations occur. It means the ejection of electron depends upon the frequency of the light strikes on the surface of the metal. It does not depend upon the intensity of the light or for how long you are adjusting the irradiation. So this irradiation cannot remove the electron. So for the particular metal, it is very important, then it should have the high energy. The minimum energy which is required for the ejection of electron is called as threshold frequency or threshold energy. The maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron is directly proportional to the frequency of the incident radiation but is independent of its intensity. The kinetic energy of the electron depends upon the frequency of the radiation used, but it is independent of the intensity of the light. The number of photoelectrons emitted per second is directly proportional to the intensity of the incident radiation but does not depend upon the frequency. That means how many electrons will be ejected from the surface of the metal, that depends upon the intensity of light, but it does not depend upon the wavelength of the light or frequency of the light. Now we can explain the photoelectric effect. It was Einstein who explained the photoelectric effect on the basis of quantum theory. According to him, electrons in metal are held by some attractive forces. To overcome these forces, certain minimum amount of energy is required, which is characteristic of a metal. This is called as photoelectric work function. Clear? So the minimum energy which is required to eject the electron from the metal, then it is called as photoelectric work function, and it is represented by WO. And now, to cause ejection of electrons, the photons of incident light should have energy equal to or greater than the work function. The light which falls on the surface of the metal, it should have the energy either the equal to threshold energy or greater than threshold energy. We know from the quantum theory that energy of electron is directly proportional to the frequency of radiation. And so E, you know the formula according to Planck's theory, E is equal to h nu. So according to this theory, the energy of the photon is directly proportional to the frequency of radiation. According to Planck's theory, E is equal to h nu. So the incident photon should have certain minimum frequency called as threshold frequency or critical frequency. So the minimum frequency possessed by the photons is called as threshold frequency or critical frequency, and that is represented by nu naught. So this nu naught is a function that shows the frequency which is required, minimum frequency which is required for the ejection of electron. So it is represented by photoelectric work function WO is equal to h nu 0, or W naught is equal to h nu naught. We can also say in this way. If the frequency of the incident photon is less than nu 0, the energy of photon will be less than the minimum energy required to eject the electrons, and hence no electrons would be ejected. If the frequency of the incident photon is less than the threshold energy or threshold frequency, then the photons these electrons will not be ejected from the surface of the metal. No matter what the intensity of the radiation is or for how long the irradiation occurs. So there is no effect of the intensity of light and no effect of the time or how long the metals are irradiated. If the photons have energy more than the energy required to remove the electron, then each such photon of light on its collision when the electron at the surface disappear to overcome the binding energy of the electron, the excess energy is taken up by the electron and as its kinetic energy. Since total energy is conserved, one may write Einstein equation as. Now, because when the photons are having energy higher than the work function or than the threshold energy or threshold frequency, we can write frequency is equal to nu and the energy is equal to h nu. So either we can say energy required or we can say the frequency of the certain light. Clear? So now when the electrons are striking on the surface and its frequency is greater than the this work function or threshold energy, then the energy will be transmitted to the electron, and that will increase the kinetic energy of the electron. So if the energy is less than the threshold energy, then electrons will not be ejected. But if the electron in a photon, the energy of the photon is equal to the threshold energy, then also the electron will be ejected. But when the energy is higher than that of the threshold energy, then that will increase the kinetic energy of the electron, and then that is used for the moving of the electron. Then according to Einstein equation, we can write as h nu is equal to h nu 0 plus ke for the kinetic energy. H nu is the energy of the photon. H nu naught is the threshold energy, and then plus kinetic energy. The remaining energy, because the energy is conserved, then the remaining energy will be transmitted to the electron. So you will be having one formula, h nu is equal to h nu naught plus kinetic energy. So we can write kinetic energy is equal to h nu minus h nu 0. Then it is equal to h. You can take the h as common, then nu minus nu 0. So we can represent the kinetic energy in terms of wavelength, because this nu is equal to c by lambda. So hc upon lambda minus hc upon lambda nu is equal to hc. You have taken we can take the hc common, then it is 1 upon lambda minus 1 upon lambda naught. Now this equation, now we can write that when you subtract the energy from the energy of the photon, the threshold energy, then you will get the kinetic energy, because energy is conserved. So if the photons are having the higher energy than the threshold energy, then the electrons will be ejected, and then the energy of the there is increase in the kinetic energy of the electrons. Since for a particular metal nu 0 and h are constant, frequency, that is threshold frequency, and the Planck's constant is constant, so the kinetic energy of photoelectrons is directly proportional to the frequency. Kinetic energy of photoelectrons is independent of intensity, because increase in intensity does not affect the energy of photons. Rather, it simply increases the number of photons falling on the surface of the metal, and hence increases the number of photoelectrons. So the kinetic energy of photoelectron is independent of intensity, and that is the energy required for the ejection of electron does not depend upon intensity. But how many electrons will be ejected, that depends upon the intensity of the light. It may be mentioned here that the photoelectric work function depends upon the nature of the matter, because that is related to the ionization enthalpy of the metal, and that is the characteristic property of the metal. A metal having higher ionization energy has greater value for a photoelectric work function. Value of photoelectric work function of some metals are given below. In terms of electron volt, work function in electron volt, for the lithium is 2.42, for sodium is 2.3, for potassium is 2.25, and for magnesium is 3.7, that you can see here. Copper is 4.8 and silver is 4.3. So in this way we can explain the photoelectric effect. The ejection of electron depends upon the frequency of the light or the frequency of the photons. But how many electrons will be ejected, that depends upon the intensity of the light. There is no effect of the intensity of light for the ejection of electron, because the electrons are ejected due to the energy or frequency of the radiations. So in this way we can explain the photoelectric effect, and then you will solve some numerical based on the photoelectric effect.